Today we're going to talk about the Amaran P60c, a 60-watt flat panel from Apurture that has the makings of something wonderful. Let's do this. Here is the Amaran P60c. I have it here and it's running off of a set of NPF batteries right now, currently. This light is currently just at 10%, and so I have it set up. I'm going to use this in just a minute to actually be my key light for this shot, but for now I'm just going to go through the light itself. So it comes with this softbox and this grid attachment. The grid attachment attaches via Velcro and comes easily on and off. The Velcro is interesting. It just sort of sticks to the exterior of the softbox, and the softbox actually folds up and is comes in this little pouch, so it's pretty handy and convenient to pack up and lug around. The other thing about this is it is foldable and collapsible, but I gotta say I'm not a big fan of how they built out the softbox risers, I guess, the bars and rods here. The ones that I have, my newer softboxes, have magnetic connectors, which make it a little bit easier just to pop out quickly. This might be a little bit sturdier, but actually getting it stood up is a little awkward. I will say the connections on the back are very nice. So the softbox attaches, and there are 4 little hooks here that the softbox can attach to. Makes it very easy and very solid to put on. It's got a good fit. It's obviously made for it, and so the softbox is very snug on there. Doesn't have much light leakage. From the back, we do see that the Amaran P60c has 2 battery bays. These take NPF batteries. This is currently running on 2 NPF batteries. It does have a display unit here and many multiple controls. You have 4 areas that you could do presets. A power button, the intensity gauge. So if I put it in the background, you can see it's going up and down. There is a CCT or hue here to control. Right now I have it at 5600 Kelvin. And then there is a saturation and control for the color settings. You have 2 buttons here for bringing up the menu for the device and the light mode. So I have used this light to light up some settings for video conference. I've done some color CCT or hue-based lighting, and it works all relatively well. I've also used the Sidus Link app with this. Works great with the Sidus Link app. Let me go ahead and bring that up now. You can use the Sidus Link app with the P60c. Right now I have it at just 1%. And I could easily increase and decrease the intensity. It is a little bit harder to do it with that. It's a little bit more accurate on the back of the device. You could set it up to go through the various color temperatures. And since we have effects here, we could actually do effects from the phone. So like this one would be the fireworks effects. Pretty good. It just sort of blings in and fades out. You could do the faulty bulb effects. Now this is definitely something that I don't necessarily expect on playing with too much. Turn the intensity down. I could start like a television effects. This is way closer than I would, but sort of get the feeling. And of course my favorite, the fire effect. So since it is winter, it's nice to know that I have a warm fire that I can replicate in my house, even though I don't have the ability to have a fire in my house. So for color temperatures on this light, it goes from 2500 Kelvin to 7500 Kelvin. It's adjustable in one increments. It has a CRI rating of greater than 95. Now, I know people have tested that and have different opinions or things, but it also has a TLCI of 96 and a QCS of greater than 96. So I think for a light as small, portable, and flexible as this one that runs on batteries, that's really great. The max output of this is 60 watts, so it's not going to be your brightest light in the room, and it's going to be probably good for fill lights or effect lighting. Or if you are limited on lighting, you could probably get away with it. I'm going to use it here for a bit of a key light in just a minute. Again, it works with the Sidus Link app. You can control it fully from your phone, and it works really good. Now, it comes with a great carrying case. It also has the softbox case. The Grid does not actually have its own case, but I'm sure you could probably figure out a way to attach it to one of these cases so that you can take it with you. The light itself has mounting points on 3 sides, on the bottom and on the 2 sides, so it can be mounted vertically or like I have here in sort of like a landscape way. The light itself has the nice control on the back. It has 2 fans. It's not a terribly loud light. Of course, I'm not really pushing it that much. If I kick it all the way up to 100% here, it's still not making that much audible noise. So one thing that's coming to attention here is I had 2 NPF batteries on here. They're fairly large NPF batteries. As far as I knew, they were, had a considerable amount of charge on them. They just cut out. It gave me a 20-minute warning and then cut off. So I did bring the power all the way up to 100% and it kicked out. So I would probably like to see how long these will last if, running this. I might have used these batteries for my review of the 60D, but we'll see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 2 new batteries here and go and plop those on. So I've got 2 new NPF batteries. I'm going to just put them on to the light. One thing that I'm curious about is these are mismatched batteries. One is a Neewer, the other is a Wasabi Power. I wonder if it would benefit it to have 2 of the same batteries. If it gets finicky with the batteries themselves, it shouldn't matter. We'll go ahead and just connect these on like so. And there it goes, kicks back in almost right away. So here it says that with the 2 batteries, it had greater than 2, now it's at 49 minutes. So battery power might not be the most reliable thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down, get it back to just like 1%. Right now it's telling me it has 1 hour and 44 minutes. If I go back down to 1%, it says I have greater than 2 hours. So maybe those batteries were not the most reliable or had diminished charge on them. I really see that as you increase the output of the light, it does decrease the overall battery time quite considerably. Of course, I'm at 28% right now. It still says I have more than 2 hours, but if I go up to, let's go 50%, it now says 1 hour and 44 minutes. If I go all the way up to 100%, give it a minute, it'll recalculate. It's now down to 50 minutes, 49 minutes. So it does, if you are going to use this with its full power, it will consume quite a bit. As far as the presets go, you could go through and click on these. Let me go ahead and just turn it to the background. So the top one is going to be your 50% daylight color temperature. The second, as it's set right out of the box, it has a 50% 360 hue with 100% saturation on it. If I go to 3, you have a full CTB 5600 color temperature blue filter on it. So pretty nice little effect there. And 4, we have lightning effect. And as far as brightness goes, it's fairly bright. I mean, I could kick this up, just sort of have it fill the background. So it does a really good job casting lights. Right now I do have it with the grid, so it is very directional in its throw of the lights. It's really bright and it's still fairly quiet. It's not going to cause too much of a hassle with your mic picking it up. Now, if you do listen back to this and you do hear it, please let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and move this back down quite a bit to 50%. So on the whole, I'm probably going to be using this mostly for either background color or I'm going to be using it for a run and gun sort of setup where it'd be my key light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the 200D that I have here. It's going through a lantern and bouncing off the ceiling. And I'm going to use this as my key light. So I'll be right back with that. So this is not the key light that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it back over to, this is a 2500 Kelvin. This is quarter power, half power, and full power. So it's plenty bright. I am checking my monitor right here in front of me just to see how it looks. So if I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to 5600, now it doesn't really look the greatest so far. I do prefer my 200D in that, so let's go ahead and kick it up to half. We'll kick it up to full. As a key light, it is pretty harsh. It's obviously very directional. It's going to just take on. Now I have the grid on it. Maybe if I remove the grid, it would be a little less harsh on my face and throw the light a little bit more evenly. But on the whole, I mean, it's a fairly bright. This is 50% power here. Full is just a little bit too much for how I have my camera set right now. So half would work fairly well. Let me go ahead and remove the grid off of it. And so this is just the softbox itself. It is going from the light to me. It's about, I don't know, 5 feet away from my face. So it does do a fairly decent job. Now, unlike the 200D and the lantern, which fills the entire room, this obviously has quite a bit of light casting onto me. I do also have a 60D at 25% pointing at the back of my head. So these two 60-watt lights are lighting me right now. It's a little harsh for the scene, but it seems to be working fairly well.